Hello.
Oh. Thank you. Who put that there? How'd that fire?
I don't know. A couple people for that one.
Thank you.
Dylan is available tonight.
Yeah,
Any kind of minutes limit you want to keep him on, or?
yeah. I mean, he hasn't played in, I think, 10 games, so he's going to be tired. I think he'll probably set his limits as much as we will. We'll play him and see how he responds, but I'm assuming he's going to be pretty fatigued. There's no way to replicate in-game minutes, so excited to see him back out there, though.
Mitch, I was going to ask, Blake Wesley started out the season really strong, and fans were responding to his energy here. What stood out to you about him when you worked with him in San Antonio?
I think recently what you just said, his defensive activity, aggression, and energy is something that every coach, team, fan base likes to see and galvanizes around. I'm just really happy for the kid. He's always worked really hard. He had some injury setbacks that wasn't great timing at times, and he just worked his butt off. And I think just really happy for him to find a place that felt like the timing and opportunity kind of aligned, and he took advantage of it, and really hope he can get healthy and continue to work on or grow what he kind of started here this year.
You have sort of similar thoughts about CD Sissoko?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, this league is so much about timing, opportunity, and people got to take advantage of that, and you're seeing two young guys that have, and so how cool for them, you know, to continue to grind away at it and work, and, you know, sometimes you don't always get the feedback or the results you want, and if that's what's going to carry your approach in this business, it's going to be a short time. So tip your hats off to them.
Fox has been your main man here, and 3 of the last 4 you've won without Wemby, which is quite an accomplishment. So he plays 17 games or so last year when he joined you guys, and spends the summer, and I suppose when he comes to camp, he's locked in on the plan and has a pretty good relationship and rapport with everybody on the floor and off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. I mean, he has been more than what we could have asked. I don't really know. I didn't have expectations prior, obviously, but his engagement, his interaction, his commitment to our cause, our program, for someone who's been an all-star and been around this league, and, you know, in a way, not that it's right or wrong, but kind of can earn the right to have a little bit more of an opinion than some other guys. He has been nothing but supportive and great in the locker room with his teammates, and I haven't said anything that he's done on the court, which obviously speaks for itself. So a guy like that, when you can add someone like that to the program, and then they're also wanting to help nurture, support a young player that's growing like Victor, along with young ball handlers like Steph Castle, Dylan Harper, and then also carry the heavy load that he has on the court, he's been phenomenal. I couldn't ask more of the guy.
What do you miss most with Castle out? What attributes does he have that you guys really highly value?
I think his just aggressiveness and relentlessness. You see it in different ways. Defensively, offensively, he's so physical. He can guard numerous types of players on the other team. He plays on and off the ball, and he's just one of those guys that's going to make something happen. And I think, you know, we have a few guys that we depend on at times to create for us and for others and themselves, and he's one of those guys. And so in this league, you know, it's just hard to replace whenever your team is missing one of those guys that does that for you.
Cornet, veteran, that was a good pickup for you guys.
He's been phenomenal. Again, someone who's been around the league, played a few different roles, grown into a role, settled into a role, experienced it at the highest level, obviously, in his time with Boston and what they did as a team. And when you can help your teammates without the basketball in this league, it goes a long way, especially with the big guy. You know, a lot of us teams play, the big guy can be a facilitator with and without the ball, a little bit of a hub in a lot of different ways. And so for him, and then he's obviously shown the impact he can play with Victor, which is something that we wanted to see and we've been really pleased with. So he's been great.
I think overall you guys have a top 10 defense in terms of defensive rating, but the 3-point defense is near the bottom. What are you seeing there in that area?
I think the biggest thing is at times we've really tried to challenge ourselves at closing out a little harder. There's also probably a bunch of little stuff that goes there in terms of lack of communication or miscommunication. So now you get two on the ball, things that all teams deal with, transition defense, offensive rebounds, things like that. But I think the biggest thing, if I had to tell you for us specifically, I think our closeouts at times can be more aggressive.
And that's tricky because that gets called a foul a lot too. Like
And there's personnel there, right? And you have different tags or different layers that you peel back when you start really getting into the nuance of how you want to guard teams and whatnot. But I think the biggest thing, especially in this league and what we've seen now, is role players. I say that in terms of guys that may not dominate the ball. They've gotten so much better. And that's no knock to anybody else in terms of just what they are capable of doing now. They don't just stand in the corner and do nothing. So when you let them be comfortable, I think you can see guys have big moments and times, even when they may not be the guy that's taking 25 shots. So your closeouts and your presence on the basketball defensively has to be there, or almost anybody can go make 3, 4, 5, 6 threes, especially if you get going. And then in this league, again, you let guys get comfortable or teams get comfortable and get into a rhythm, it can be hard to turn the water off.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.